Hey everyone, Radical Dreamer Steve back at you, and today we're talking about the NES. That's right, the original Nintendo, one of the most iconic gaming consoles of all time. And while I do prefer something like the SNES or the 64 over the NES, it's still an amazing console. And this is going to be my top 15 favorite games with a little caveat. I'm not going to do any more than 2 games in one series because I don't want to make this a Mega Man video. That's how much I love the NES Mega Man games, so only 2 Mega Man games allowed. Secondly, I just want to say that, this is my list, so all our lists come from our stories. And so my story with the NES is that my uncle literally just dropped this console on my lap. He owned it, he had about 10 games, he gave it to me when I was like, I don't know, 5, 6 years old. And it came with like 10 different games. I had like Mario 1, Mario 3, Duck Hunt, Double Dragon 1, 2, and 3, Dr. Mario, Track and Field with the trackpad, and Duck Hunt. So you know what? My NES experience is skewed with this experience and the fact that I played most of the other best games way after the fact. So, anyway, let's get right into this list. Okay, number 15 is Punch Out. Punch Out is a really, really cool game. The first time I saw this game was in New York with my cousins. They were obsessed with it. And it's a game I haven't played as much as I should have, but whenever I pick it up, I'm really surprised how much fun it is and how intuitive it is. First of all, it's so freaking like, I don't want to say adorable, but just like, it's cheesy and lovable, and just the graphics are great, the animations are great, the cheesy boxers are great, and just everything in this game just has a really, really funny, interesting aesthetic to it that kind of fits the boxing world. I really like the controls. Your A button's like a cross and your B button's like a jab. You can bob and weave and go back. And just really amazing how they made such an intuitive, cool boxing game on such an old console with only really 2 buttons on the controller. So really, kudos off to this one. Number 14, Adventures of Lolo 3. Now, this is a game I actually played for the first time on the Wii, so way after the fact. The thing is, it really stood out to me. It's one of those games that you just never knew existed on the NES, and you're just like, wow, I can't believe this did exist on the NES. It's like an adventure/puzzle game. Like, there's an overworld map, you're walking with your 2 little adorable, M&Ms? Whatever they are. And you go into levels and you're solving really intricate puzzles that kind of involve a little bit of combat, dodging stuff. But overall, it's more of a puzzle game than it is anything else. Like, you have a certain amount of eggs or bubbles you put around enemies. You can kind of get rid of them. And your object is to get through all these different rooms without getting zapped. And one of the things I really like about it is it's very fast and responsive. You can just reset by pressing the select button. This is one of those games that's like really popular, but also super, super underrated. So definitely go check it out. Number 13, Castlevania. The original Castlevania that spawned the entire amazing series that everyone knows, and the rest is history. Now, I know most people would probably go with Castlevania 3, but the thing is that these games are so hard, so I really can only play them like when the freaking moon is full. And honestly, Castlevania 3, it is technically maybe a better game, but it's so long. The levels always change, like there's different paths and stuff, and so for me, I feel like driving a stake into my chest, by the time I finish that game. And so Castlevania, it's like, for the difficulty level, it's more bite-sized for me, I can handle it, and so I will always prefer the original game to 2 and 3. Number 12, Blades of Steel. Now, you're not going to hear me talk about too many sports games, but this is one that I really, really like. Now, it's made by Konami, so you can tell it's going to be quality, and one of the things that's really, really cool about it is that you actually get to control the goalie. Some games you have an automated goalie, and that can be kind of frustrating, but I really like that you can kind of use the goalie to deflect shots. It's really easy to control, it's fun, cool animations, and USSR. Oh, no, that's ice hockey. Also a really cool hockey game, but Blades of Steel has some really cool fights. Number 11, Dr. Mario. This is a game I had as a kid. It was a weird one. When I turned it on, I was like, what is going on? There's viruses, there's pills, you're trying to get rid of the viruses, how? And I figured it out pretty quick. But the cooler thing as a kid, I think, is that you could change the music, you could change the difficulty setting, and you could, customize the experience, so to speak. And there wasn't a lot of games like that at the time, so that was really neat. While a lot of people might prefer Tetris, this is actually the game I played more as a kid. But, going forward, I'd definitely say Tetris is the better game as a series. But, Dr. Mario on the NES, not as such of a puzzle game. Still really fun, not too hard to pick up. And, you will definitely need to get really good at it. Number 10, Super Mario Bros. This is literally one of the most iconic video games ever made. Now you're talking about like, the most iconic first stage, some of the most iconic music, the game that had warp pipes, and this is one of those games that's just fun to play anytime, any day. Yes, the controls are a little sluggish, the graphics are a little old school, but still so much fun. And honestly, one of the biggest pros about this game, in my opinion, is that it's shorter than Mario 3, so it's a lot easier to digest on the NES where you can't save the game. Number 9, Double Dragon 2, The Revenge. That's right, this one's The Revenge. It's the sequel. The first Double Dragon's great, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's a really good beat 'em up, really classic. This game just takes it and amps it up a level. Unlike the NES version of the first game, you can actually play 2-player in this one, and honestly, guys, the helicopter level, it's like the coolest thing ever. I gotta tell you a secret here. As a kid, I had no idea like how not to die in it. Like I died like 100 times before I actually knew how to just hold down the left button to avoid getting sucked out of the helicopter. I was six, cut me some slack. And anyway, yeah, this is a really fun beat 'em up. Not much to say about it other than the fact that it's just an utter blast to play. Better with 2 players. Just watch out for the cliffs because it's really easy to suicide death in this game. Number 8, Kirby's Adventure. Now, this is one of those games that still really holds up well. It's colorful, it's beautiful, you can actually save, unlike most NES games. And yeah, there's tons of power-ups in true Kirby fashion. It's not the first Kirby game, I think it's the second one after Kirby's Dreamland on the Game Boy. Anyway, really one of those like really underrated NES games just because it came out so late in the Super Nintendo life. But yeah, this is a super fun one. If you like Kirby, definitely make sure you go back to this one if you never played it. Number 7, Bubble Bobble. That's right, this is definitely a game that deserves to be on any top 10 NES list. Super fun. You control cute, adorable little dinos, put some enemies in bubbles, and then just jump on the bubble and get rid of them. Oh, and there's tons of fruit to eat. Bananas, raspberries, strawberries, I'm forgetting what else there is, but there's plenty of food on the table as well. And honestly, some people might prefer the arcade version, but the fact that this game has passwords alone already makes it, for me, superior to the arcade version in terms of just like accessibility. Number 6, Mega Man 6. Now I know a lot of people are probably going to want to just hang me out to dry after not putting Mega Man 3 on this, but Mega Man 6 is awesome. It's the first Mega Man game I have ever played. Really liked the flying suit in it. I thought the music was awesome. And for me, I think the series really went out with a bang at this one. Whereas Mega Man 5 was a little really fun, but a little bit uninspired. Mega Man 6 felt like it was kind of a breath of fresh air into the series, and it's really underrated. The only thing that is kind of lame about it is the fact that the bosses are really formulaic. Like there's 3 elemental bosses, 3 kind of archetypical soldier types like Nightman, there's Yamato Man who's I guess a samurai. But yeah, this is a crackin' time. It has really good level design and some of the best music in this series. Number 5, The Legend of Zelda. Do I even need to say any more? Yeah, this game is definitely on the list. It's the first game in literally the best gaming series of all time, in my opinion. And honestly, this game is still pretty much how action RPGs work to this day, at least 2D ones. So I mean, this game deserves so much credit for everything. Now it's cryptic as all hell. Good luck finding out where the dungeons are without a guide. This is one of those games where back in the day, supposedly, I'm not that old guys, supposedly you're supposed to go to the rumor mill at your school or something, talk to your classmates, and they tell you where the dungeon is, or you go to the Nintendo Power magazine, whatever. Just use game facts, okay? But yeah, this is a really cool game. All the Legend of Zelda components are there. The exploration, the temples, the cool power upgrades like bombs and arrows and stuff. At least I think arrows are in it. I'm having trouble remembering at this point. The only thing that kind of surprised me was the fact that the dungeons, or temples if you're a true Zelda fan, are kind of more combat oriented. I remember just shitloads of bats flying around and I was they actually killed me and I was like, what? I don't die in Zelda games. Oh wait, I do on the NES. This game still holds up fairly well. Could definitely use a remake, but it deserves so much credit for being still playable. Number 4, Duck Hunt. Oh yeah, this game had to be on the list. The light gun is classic and it was amazing hardware for the time. Duck Hunt's about as simple as it gets. You literally turn it on and you just see the ducks and you shoot them. And for me, this game holds a special place in my heart because it is the only game, and I mean the only game in history, where I've had my entire family sitting around a TV trying to shoot ducks and trying to beat each other's high scores. Yeah, my dad was a cop and my uncle was a hunter, so they had affinities for guns in general. This was pretty cool for them. But yeah, I grew up with this game, loved it, loved it, loved it. It's just so simple, yet effective, and there's not much more to say about this one. It's just a blast to play. And the only thing that's really sad about it is that, without a CRT TV, it's basically unplayable, so many people will never experience the amazingness of this game because CRT TVs are basically extinct at this point. Number 3, Super C. I'm choosing the sequel. Yep, I'm playing a small violin for all you Contra fans out there. Now, Contra's an awesome game. Really like it. That's a really good game. But the thing is, Super C is the game I had when I got my second NES, like maybe 10 years ago, and I played the crap out of this game and just fell in love with it. And I do actually prefer the overhead levels in Super C to like the weird little 3D levels in Contra. But I mean, they're pretty much cut from the same cloth. So great games, Super C, just tons of shooting, tons of action, the super gun's really great, and just, yeah, this one's just, it's a macho game. It makes you feel strong when you play it. And it'll also make you feel weak because it took me like 500 tries to beat this game with my friend, but you know what? It's amazing. Number 2, Mario Bros. 3. That's right, many people consider this pretty much the perfect NES platformer and the best game on the console. I've got no problem with that, by the way. This game was incredible for so many reasons. The controls are improved, the Mario, he gets like the Tanuki suit in this one. You get an item inventory, you can explore an overworld, there's secret levels. Like, this game just made it bigger and better in every way. I mean, Mario 3, if you've never played this game, like, you've been literally living under a mushroom house like your entire life. Play Mario 3, okay? Number 1, Mega Man 2. This is my absolute favorite NES game. And I pick it over the other Mega Mans because of the accessibility and the difficulty options. Unlike some of the other Mega Man games, you have a solid chance of beating at least 3 or 4 of the bosses without any kind of power-up in this game, and you can choose from normal or hard options, which is something you don't have in most Mega Man games. Now, it cleaned up the awkwardness from Mega Man 1. That would be the slippery controls, and the kind of weird point system that Mega Man 1 had. That's all gone here. Mega Man 2 has perfect controls, no points, it is Mega Man as you know it, and the thing about this game is that no Mega Man game has ever really truly bested Mega Man 2. Now, you can like a game more than Mega Man 2, totally fine, but there's been no game that's really totally like just blown Mega Man 2 out of the water and really created that next step for the series. And that's why some people love Mega Man, that's why some don't, but the amazingness of the Mega Man series really starts with Mega Man 2, and it still holds up. Alright guys, that's it for me. Those are my top 15. I'd be curious to see what yours are. And I'm also curious, like, did you think I really overrated something or underrated something? Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. I'm really enjoying chatting with a lot of you guys. All right, game on. Catch you next time.